Ladies and gentlemen, Pittsburgh guy here. This video is going to be about a recipe that I came up with, and it's probably on the internet. I didn't come up with it, but it's something that's fun and different, and it's very easy to make. You know, when you go to a party, whether it's friends or family, and we talk about dips, people bring spinach dip, buffalo dip, taco dip, my personal favorite, pepperoni dip, bean dip. This is sloppy Joe dip, or Manwich dip, whatever you want to call it. And it's very simple, very easy, and it's different when you bring it to a party or a get-together. So we're going to go over how, go through the steps, go through the ingredients, go through the correct measurement, and then you can serve this hot or cold. I prefer it hot, and I'll also put that in the description on how long to bake it for. And you know, you can use anything to dip with it: crackers, crostini bread. You could take baguettes and slice them up and toast them in the oven, garlic bread, whatever you want to use. But this is very easy, very simple, and let's go and start with the ingredients. You're going to need cream cheese, 2 of them, 2 packs. They're 16 ounces each, or 8 ounces each, I'm sorry. So that's 16 ounces total. Salt and pepper, some sort of other seasoning to add to that. I like to use Cajun myself, or cayenne pepper, give it a little bit of spice. Green chilies, Manwich mix, or you can do sloppy Joe mix, depending on which store you go to. You know, Walmart, grocery stores, order it on Amazon, whatever you do. The mix is always going to have that same flavor, but there's going to be different mixes that have like chunky tomatoes in them, or a bold garlic flavor, whatever you choose. And then, of course, lastly, I use plant-based crumbles, which are plant-based meat. I don't eat meat. I used to back in the day, but I don't anymore. Changed my diet. I feel better, feel healthier. It could be exercise, it could be the diet, it could be both. I'm not saying, you know, change this, do what you want. You can use ground meat, brown it up, and mix in everything with it. But for me, I go with the crumbles. Here I'm using the Morningstar. So that's our starting point. Now let's go into the steps. First thing we want to do is brown the meat. In this case, the plant-based meat. And you're going to use the whole package. If you use ground meat, you want to use 10 ounces to 12 ounces, somewhere in that range. But you want to have a good amount, because the flavor soaks into these pieces, and it is very, very good on a cracker, on a wafer, on bread. It just really pops. So as we brown the meat, you want to add your seasonings. I put in a couple dashes. I don't go by, you know, specific measurement, but a couple dashes of cayenne pepper, a couple shakes of regular pepper, and a little bit of salt, not too much salt. You want to add olive oil to the mix as well. You can put it on. You can put the olive oil in first or put it in after. I usually put in about a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And then we just let that brown up a little bit of sizzle, and we wait for this to cook. And then in the meantime, we can open up our cream cheese, get it ready for our KitchenAid mixer. And I'm actually missing the paddle. And you want to use the paddle for this, of course, because if the cream cheese isn't soft enough, which it is, it's too much for the wire whisk that comes with it. So we're going to drop these in there one at a time. And when you brown the meat, you can do it at a couple paces down from high. If you have a number system, I think mine goes from low to high, and it goes by even numbers. I usually go with 8 so that you don't crisp it or overcook it. And then the seasonings that we mentioned here, you only put them down once. We don't have to add anything extra because in the mix, the Sloppy Joe mix, the Manwich mix in the can, there's enough seasoning in there as well. Plus with the green chilies. So we will check back with this in a couple minutes, and then we will add the last two pieces. Okay, now that we've browned the meat, we're going to add the green chilies. The whole can, it's 4.5 ounces. And it doesn't matter if you do the green chilies first or if you do the Sloppy Joe Manwich mix. One or the other, it doesn't matter. You decide how you want to put it into your mix. Now after that's in there, we're going to stir that up a bit. Now as you can see, if you've ever had Sloppy Joe, which I think most people have, that it's a very saucy mix. You know, you have your bun, you can add cheese, slop it on there, and that's pretty much the whole basis of it. Now that that's done, I'm going to take this off, and we are going to transport this into the KitchenAid bowl. Should have did this the other way so you could see it, but I'm sure it's not hard to go from one to the other. Now we put the paddle back on. We're going to lock it up. And then you're only going to put this on the 1 speed. The 1 speed is all you need for this. And you run it for about 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. Very easy, very simple. Like I said, you can add more seasonings if you want, but I think once you taste it, you'll realize how good it is. It doesn't really need much, because what's in this can or any of the other cans that you buy are very similar to this. You're going to find there's a lot of seasonings, a lot of spices. Just look at the ingredient list. So like I said, 1 to 2 minutes. Now that we hit our time, we turn it off, unlock it, take the paddle off, which I don't seem to be able to know how to do. There we go. Of course, if you're going to bang some of this off, the paddle, most of the paddles have rubber on them. You don't want to put the hit it with this against a glass bowl. And then your dip's done. And like I said, it'll be in the description on how long to cook this or bake this in the oven, the temperature and the time. And now if you make a double batch, if you take the batch that we just did and double it up, you can put this in a lasagna pan, a lasagna casserole dish, and make a larger dip. But this is more for a baking pan. You know, I think it's is it 9 by 9, something like that. But the finished product is very good, very tasty, and it should fall off a spoon like that. And like I said, you can make this as a cold dip, and once you put it in the fridge, but it won't be like this. It's going to be a little bit more gelled. But if you heat it up and use it with crostinis, crackers, whatever you use, it will be a dip that your friends tell you that is one of the favorites of the party. So that was it for the Sloppy Joe dip. Like I said, everything will be in the description. It's a very unique dish. It's very good, very easy, super simple. I think you'll love it. Try it. If not, there'll be other recipes for us to talk about. Pittsburgh Guy out.